Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to War on the Sea, a World War II era naval strategy game focused, as you can see here by the mighty appearance of the Yamato, on the Pacific War, and more specifically, the Guadalcanal campaign. I've actually done another video on this about a year ago, roundly, in a more humorous, less serious format, but the game really does deserve a second shout-out in my opinion, because it is, hands down, the best naval-focused strategy game currently available. Pretty much in its entirety. Now, mayhaps Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought will eventually steal that title, as it is coming along very, very nicely, but for now, War on the Sea is the single best one there is. Not just when it comes to the tactical aspect, as you can see here, a fleet led by the Yamato and two smaller battleship sisters, the Fuso and the Yamashiro, leads a column of 3 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and 2 destroyers for a bit of anti-submarine duty. And up above, we see our Zero escorts flying combat air patrol over the fleet, making sure no nasty little American torpedo or dive bombers get close. And yet this, of course, is just one aspect of the game, because if we leave the tactical mode, we return to the strategic mode, as you can see here. Now, as mentioned, this is the Guadalcanal campaign, where the objective is to seize Guadalcanal and build a fully leveled up airport on it. That is level 5. I've already got one of those on Russell Island to try and cover me as I reconquer Guadalcanal. In fact, it was recently seized in full by Japanese troops after having been fighting American invaders for about 30 days or so, as we're 38 days into this campaign. A second group of Japanese Marines, the Special Naval Landing Forces, Tokubetsu Rikusen Taigun, I believe they were called, have landed on Malaita just a few days ago and are in the process of wresting that island too from the fairly small American garrison. You can see the various stars here are indicative of potential bases. The grey ones are non-Stings, the red ones are Japanese, and the blue are obviously Americans, with the Japanese home base being Rabaul and the American being New Hebrides. Now you can also see here I've spotted a little bit of an American fleet which we will be bombing in not too long, but let me talk about a couple more mechanics first. So the developers have been working on improving the game for quite some time now, and they've made a lot of improvements. Tragically, they have yet to add a second campaign, which really kind of annoys me, because as cool as the Guadalcanal campaign is, and I love picking up and playing it every now and then, it is just one campaign, and though they have improved the AI recently, back in the day, they would only sail straight to Guadalcanal like this, again and again and again, which meant that every battle took place in this area. Now it is able to pick different routes. For example, it can come down here, trying to move behind Guadalcanal. It can move the long way around. I've been attacked by carrier aircraft launching aircraft from this direction. It can also do the long way here again with carrier and surface forces. But another campaign would be excellent, particularly maybe something even in the Atlantic, a large-scale expansion, and I would happily pay for it, more than happily, because it is a damn good game, and again, it is the best naval strategy game, and no doubt about it. Another really cool addition is these little scout planes right here. You can see that if I click on them, they actually have a little path going back to Subforce 4. That is because these are being launched continuously from the submarine force. Japanese submarines were goddamn massive, by the way, and had access to scout planes, something the Germans should have copied, which means that they can actually continuously sweep an area around the submarines to spot targets. That's how I discovered this little 9-ship convoy here. You can also see that the Yamato fleet is also sending out its own spy planes, and it also has 2 squadrons of Zeros hovering above it. Now then, medium, 12 to 16 knots, 2 cruisers, 2 light cruisers, so this is probably a troop transport convoy, which shouldn't be too difficult to sink. We are going to launch it would make sense to launch the Bettys first. We're going to load the Bettys up with 4 250 kilogram AP bombs each, I'm thinking. And we're going to vector them out to intercept. Meanwhile, we're going to start moving in the general direction, but I doubt there'll be a job for them here. And we're going to speed up time a little bit while we wait for, there we go, for the Vals, which are going to take up with AP and 260 kilogram HE bombs each. And they're going to vector off against the fleet as well. Right, now we simply speed up time a little bit and wait for our aircraft to arrive. The Bettys will simply hover in the area for a while, waiting for the Vals to catch up. There does not appear to be any combat air patrol over the Allied fleet, so that should be easy enough. I wouldn't mind having this coincide with the sub-force. In fact, I think I'll have the submarine force begin its approach here. Alright, let's move them in a little bit closer and a little bit off to the side, I think. And there we are. We're going to enter into the tactical game mode now. And as you can see, we have 2 flights of Vals and 2 flights of Bettys, as well as the scout planes. We're just going to click start there. Right, so the airplanes are now focused into squadrons. You can see red, blue, yellow, and green squadrons, and the 2 little Jakes. Now, the Jakes, we're going to have just kind of setting themselves up on picket formations here. The Vals, we're going to take command over, and I'm going to order them. As you can see down here, I'm currently giving them instructions to move. I'm going to give them an order to just do a turn to keep them in the general area, whilst the Bettys and the enemy fleet should be in front of... There we go. Yep, there they are. There we are. Alright, is this... Yep. It is a transport fleet. It is an invasion fleet, as I expected it to be. So we've got a Pensacola class, a Perth class, then we've got Merchant, Cleveland? What's the one-turreted one, actually? You know, there is a recognition book in the game, so we're going to find out. In a surface engagement, you should be actually checking out each and every ship that you find, because it gives you... No, there you go. No. It gives you an aiming bonus. What is this? Portland class? Yep. That looks like a Portland class. Alright. Can I... There we go. Portland class heavy cruiser. Lovely. Not that I really need to bother about that right now, so we're attacking it with aircraft. Right. So, let's set this up, shall we? The first part of this is going to be to bring the bombers in straight ahead of the enemy, to give them as much of a nose-on attack as possible. Now, the dive bombers... So we've got... I'm tempted... We've got 2 transport ships here. I'm tempted to try out something a little bit difficult, maybe. Yeah. Oh, God, I'm going to mess this up. But, okay, we're going to try something a little bit complicated. Which might cost me a lot of vowels, but that's fine. They're just vowels, after all. We're going to move the vowels into a flanking position here. And we are going to lower their altitude down to about 80 odd meters. 90 will do, probably. And we're going to try a skip bombing attack. Not 60, that's a bit too close, I'm thinking. I can just use the keys to adjust it. There we go. I haven't done one of these in a while, so if I mess up horribly, then, well... excuse me, I guess. We're going to order them to do line abreast. We're going to have them form up. There we go. And they're going to start setting up. Now, skip bombing was actually a tactic used, I'm pretty sure, exclusively exclusively by the Americans, where the idea is, you know, skipping a rock across water, right? Well, the idea is the same, except you use a 250-kilogram bomb instead. This was a pretty ridiculous idea that I can't remember who came up with it, but I'm pretty sure it was the Americans who started doing this with like B-17s or something absurd like that, where they would actually skip bombs off the water surface to hit Japanese transport and destroyers. And the Japanese freaked out like nobody's business over this because they had no idea how to dodge it. Like, if it's a torpedo, okay, you steer into it and you make sure you maneuver in between the lines, easy peasy. If it's a bomb, you just, you know, wildly throw the ship around to make you difficult to hit. But a skip bomb, I mean, the thing travels at like a couple hundred kilometers per hour as it's skipping across the water. What do? Do you drive into it? I mean, it would make it a bit harder to hit, but it's no like long-term projectile. The thing's gonna hit when it's gonna hit, and there's no dodging it, really. Okay, so we are now going to order the valves to enter into a circle here. Oh, hello. Is that? No. I was about to say, that scout plane isn't trying to attack me, is it? Nah, it's just hovering above me, keeping an eye on me. That's fair enough. Meanwhile, the Betties are going to start on their turn in not too long. Speed things up a little bit. Alright, we're fairly head-on now. Alright. Do we want to go for the cruisers? I'm thinking... Yeah, let's be a little bit greedy here and try to go for the cruisers, shall we? So, we're gonna put ourselves at 1,300. Little bit high, but I'd rather keep them alive and launch a second bombing run further down the line than perhaps lose them. Alright, that sets up the Betties. The Vals are doing a pretty good approach as well. We'll wait a little bit further before we start moving them in. Okay, that's probably good enough. And we'll have them move in around about like this. As dead on as we can. Now, skip bombing attacks in formation is not something I would recommend. It's derpy to pull off, shall we say. Not impossible, but definitively derpy. Alright. Kick it up to 200 knots there. And the Betties are going to pass overhead first. And they're going to draw the majority of the enemy flak, which is fine because they're not super high up, but they're relatively high up, and they're going to be a fairly difficult target. Though I do expect probably losing a couple of them as I do this. Alright, they are just about within striking distance, so we're going to be seeing the bombs dropping out of the bomb bay doors any second now. There we go. On target to the first heavy cruiser, which has begun maneuvering. Come on, give me some good hits. Alright. 4 hits. Far from amazing, but not catastrophic either. It's okay. Alrighty then. Alright, we're gonna target this thing ahead, and we're gonna do this. Should I drop down a little bit further? Let's drop down a little bit further. And we're gonna go to about 900 odd, 800 odd. There. That's actually a little bit close, perhaps. And we're gonna order them to drop their bombs. And with that done, we're going to have them speed up and climb as hard as they can. Alright, we're going to have you guys do a slight turn. This is not a great approach. This is actually an awful approach. Yeah, this is a terrible approach. Oh, we got a hit. That was a bit high. Okay, 800 meters. Let's try that. And then we're gonna have them speed up, climb hard, and let's see here. There goes the skips. Ah, way too far. Way too high. We might get the other one, though. Maybe. Yeah. That one was pretty good. Okay, yep, nope. That was not a tall enough target, or I should have dropped them a pinch earlier there, definitely. So, we got a decent hit on this one. I think we got one good 250 kilogram bomb hit. You can see it's listing a little bit. And this thing got hit by the leading bombs. Not terrible, not terrible. Could have been better, but I'm happy. We lost 2 Bettys and a Val. That is actually very cheap, so I am not all that displeased with it, in fact. That was a decent attack. Particularly if this Perth class sinks, and I think it might. Its engine department has clearly been screwed over something fierce, and fires are raging heavily across it. Yeah, that one's probably screwed. The other ships, however, look to be doing pretty well. This one's got a fire. We probably hit its forward... Ooh, I don't know. Those fires are spreading quite badly. Probably not a sunk, but definitely a heavily damaged, and one probably sunk. Nice, not too bad, not too bad. So, I am going to sit here waiting for this thing to sink, because if you skip out of the battle too early, it kind of deprives you of your kill, and then I'll rejoin you. Now that second bomb strike, I think, finally might have done the job properly this time. That's a lot of fires on the Perth, which might not be able to make it home like she hoped for. A tragedy, to be sure, but it's an American tragedy, and so, as a Japanese commander, I'm not too miffed. God damn zombie ship! God, just sink already. Just sink. Just, please, sink already. I am not letting this damn boat go home. It is filled with far too many Australians and or British people for me to allow that. No. Will not allow it. Will not allow it. Too many pretty little Betty bombers have been shot out of the sky for you to go home, Mr. Ship. Even if I've got to kamikaze you to do it, which is an actual thing you can do in the game. Kamikaze tactics is absolutely a thing. And it's actually rather effective, too. Alright. Now, let's veer off sharply to the side there, climb, go back to maximum speed. And this time... This time... it has got to be dead. Now, I don't know why the rest of you decided to, go in this ridiculous way. Because I thought I told you not to, but, well... there we go. Ships! Tough things, as it turns out. But put enough fires and holes in them, and eventually they will bubble. Finally, a proper surface contact. Okay. Well, the Yamato Kaigun is obviously going to go to intercept that. And I'm going to make sure that I've got my aircraft in the area as well. The Bettys can hang out over there for as long as they need to. That's not a problem. The Vals have slightly shorter legs, but they should have more than enough time to get over there and rejoin the fleet. There we are. The Vals, 299. Yeah, they've still got plenty. Make sure the Bettys are in range as well. And I think we're going to send the sub-force up there too, in case they need to clean up whatever's left after the engagement. Getting a pinch late, but we've still got enough hours of daylight left for the aircraft to help me out. So that... Let's see if we can get a bit closer. So I would love to get nice and close. How are the Vals doing? 166. Alright, I think that is about as close as I'm likely to get, so we're going to initiate tactical mode and see what we can see. Now, all of these Petes wandering around in the area are not actually entirely necessary, so we're going to tell a bunch of them to scram. And the Zeros, and actually the Zeros are a bit of a problem here, because they're, yep, the Zeros are actually taking up slots that the Vals could have used to actually attack the enemy. Oh well, I still have 2 flights of Bettys, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And immediately, we're going to have the Yamato turn on her radar. And immediately, she's going to find something to shoot at. Well, that's certainly convenient, as the fleet is right in front of us. Well, 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 well. What have we got here, then? Another transport fleet. Really? Huh. That is bloody brave, considering what happened to the last one, but if you say so, I guess. Okie dokie. Right, we're going to have the Bettys just circle for now. And we're going to let the fleet elements have a go at it. Well, the Yamato has already targeted her massive guns. We're at 4.5 kilometers here. They allowed us to get very close, which is going to end quite poorly for them, I think. Our fighting solution right now is 84. Oh, yeah, that's very good. Yep, Jesus. This, what is this? What even is this? I don't even recognize this damn thing. 3 forward triple turrets, 2 rear ones. Well, whatever it is getting absolutely beat to death right now. And I'll be very surprised if it manages to live through this turn. In fact, the entire fleet is very clearly panicking here and trying to scatter quickly, which is probably smart. The Yamato's taken a couple hits herself, but I very much so doubt the Yamato frankly cares. Alright. I think we're just going to keep this in formation, honestly. Ow. My DDs might care, though. The DDs are nowhere near as tough, of course, and are going to suffer a lot more heavily. Oh, yep. Yeah, that thing was never going to complete its poor little turn. Yeah, it was very tragic. I'm tempted to disengage the DDs immediately, because Japanese destroyers are just not very good. In fact, you know what? I think that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to have them disengage. Just sweet. I'm going to have them lay smoke and go to full speed. They're perfectly servable in anti-submarine duty, of course, but because they don't have surface naval radar, their gunfire accuracy is atrocious, and the ballistic capabilities of their guns are not great. They get their asses absolutely pounded into the dirt by American DDs, who are a genuine threat even to goddamn cruisers, frankly, because of their ability to land continuous and dead reckoning accurate 5-inch fire on the enemy continuously. Very, very nasty. Alright. That's a second ship sunk right there. That was one of the transports. See, well, I've done moderate damage to my armor, at least. That's something. but I'm not particularly worried. Not yet, at least. Alright. That's another transport. We don't really need to hit that. This thing, however, that will be the next target of the battleships. What is this? Cleveland, I think? Let's identify it as such. It's not New Orleans, Pensacola, nope, Cleveland? Cleveland? Cleveland. There you go. Oh god, they are sinking quick here. They are sinking very quick here. The Cleveland should be on the receiving end of very accurate fire now too from the Yamato and the Fuso and the Yamashiro as well. Yeah, she's taking a beating. Ooh, this poor Pensacola. Right, the Tako, the Atago, and the Maya, they'll target in on that. With their slightly smaller but still rather effective guns. And yeah, the Cleveland looks like she's just about done. How are you doing, Yamato? A fire up ahead, alright. We're getting a little bit of a list. We're gonna counter flood one compartment on the other end there to even her out a little bit. As the damage control crews are dealing with the fires and the rest of the flooding. There goes the Cleveland as well, lovely. Fuso, Yamato, Fuso, and the Yamashiro are going to target this one next. We should still have an amazing, oh yeah, an incredible gunnery solution. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is a slaughter. This is an actual genuine slaughter. Alright, are you, you are alive. You're battered and bruised, but you are alive. Ah, it's being too obscured by the smoke, so the heavy cruisers can't get a good look on it. Okay. These are just... yeah, just destroyers and transports fleeing the battle. Okay. I'm not particularly worried about that. That's 6 sunk as well. Which leaves this as the only remaining major warship. What is the single-turreted thing? Let's find out. Where is the thing? There we are. Alright, let's see here. 3 turrets on a heavy cruiser. A Portland? Yes. Oh, no, 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 no. That one. That looks like a Portland, so let's mark it as such. Wow. Well, it doesn't really need like I'm even going to need the Bettys here, frankly. This was a very one-sided fight, as I managed to get at point-blank range with an enemy transport convoy. Even then, though, the guns did do some pretty serious damage to the Yamato. Her integrity is still pretty fine. She took some damage, but her armor's held up fairly well. Damage control crews are working on dealing with the fire. Let's see here. Let's just have them be auto-assigned for now. Flooding's not too bad. I'm happy that the Yamato is not going to be sinking from this. And the Portland's getting hammered to shit as well. Lovely, 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 lovely. Yep, no, I don't think the Bettys are going to have a role in this rather one-sided naval engagement. I'm getting a lot of fires, though. I wish it would stop shooting at me like that. It's probably the DDs. I bet you it's the goddamn destroyers. I swear to God, the most dangerous ship the Americans have are their destroyers. Because, again, that ability to just continuously lay down extraordinarily accurate 5-inch fire, it is not to be underestimated. It really is not. Though with the amount of shit coming in here, it is still just a DD, and I doubt it'll stand up to this kind of punishment for very long. Yep. Indeed, indeed, indeed. They're brave little bastards, though. Turning around to fight, like, I can handle this. I don't know if that's true. In fact, I'm fairly sure it isn't. That was a very nice little tactical ambush there. Now, in this case, the battle was over relatively quickly because of the very short distances involved. I mean, this is the longest engagement distance at the moment, and the Isuzu is firing at about 7 kilometers, which is very good range. Anything above 10, and you'll be lucky if one shell out of every salvo hits, but anything below 10 again gets pretty damn good. Now, the Japanese prefer to get in nice and close and carry out engagements like this, and there goes the final DD as well, because their super long-range accuracy is just not that good. Now, theoretically, the Yamato can engage targets at, like, 3 kilometers odd plus, like 30,000 feet. Actually, 3 kilometers, like 300. Like, she can engage at ridiculous ranges, but she's not going to be very good at hitting because even the Yamato does not have surface radar. Meanwhile, the Americans have lethally accurate fire as long as they manage to, like, get their guns going. Once they start hitting a salvo, they'll just keep hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting, as exemplified by the sheer amount of beating that the Yamato took there in general. Bearing in mind, too, this is 410 millimeters of armor we've got here. This is a ridiculously heavily armored ship, and they still managed to penetrate into the engineering compartment and even do damage to the rudder, as well as set plentiful fires and knock out one of my 155mm secondary guns. Had it been the Fuso in the lead, she might very well have sunk from that amount of beating, and any of my heavy cruisers would have absolutely gotten slaughtered, but, well, that's why the Yamato is worth the big bucks, as she is a ridiculously expensive ship. Speaking of ridiculously expensive, now that the enemy has been wiped out, heavy damage, yeah, I can see that. We're going to start the Yamato Kaigun on its trip back to port so it can be released, rearmed, and repaired. Whilst in the meantime, with 125 points, I'm going to select the new fleet. So this is how you get new fleets built. You simply just select the types you want here. In this case, I love having a picket fleet of submarines, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, I've got these guys unlocked again, the B Mod 1 classes, I think. So we're going to make a little fleet of 4 of those. Done, and we're going to dispatch them back out here, as they are exceptional little scouts. And since we now need to get started on the building of the Guadal Canal as well, we're going to need, not that, we're going to need transport ships. The transport ships obviously are not particularly well defended. In fact, they're basically not defended at all. They've got 2 5-inchers, which won't hit the broadside of a barn if it was parked inside of the barn. And so it is going to need an escort. Now, seeing as there's not going to be a whole lot of American ships deep behind my lines with the amount of defenses I've been able to put up, we'll make do with 3 destroyers. So we'll have a destroyer at the lead, we'll have a destroyer at the center of the formation. What did I just remove? Did I remove a DD? I think I deleted both of them, actually. God damn it. Not the correct button. No. We don't need that yet. There. You at the rear, you at the center. There you go. And then we've got a transport fleet, which we can then manage cargo. So we're not going to need troops. We got plenty of troops, so we're going to simply load up on supplies, everything we can, and we're going to load up on engineers, which are going to be used to build the airfield. And there you go. Set off for Guadalcanal to begin construction, as the campaign's going pretty damn well. With this, I figure you've got a decent understanding of what On the Sea is. It is a really, really goddamn cool naval strategy game that is absolutely worth a look. It has a lot of complexity. It's got a fair bit of replayability as well, as you've got a lot of different ships to play around with. I mean, you've got the Yamato, of course, there at 110 points. You've got the Ryujo, more correctly. Class light carrier, the Zuiho, and the Shokaku, the big boy, with the Shokaku and the Zuikaku available. Now, getting both of them costs you 240 points, so that's going to be rare, but they'll also be able to wipe out entire fleets, which is rather nice. Again, I'd love to see more campaigns made for the game, because again, as fun as Guadal Canal is, it does get a little bit repetitive. Maybe even some more ship types, some more aircraft types, a little bit of different things here and there, although I think they've actually got pretty much all of the Japanese ships covered, honestly. I don't think... Do we have Congos? Yes, we do have the Congo class as well, actually, in there. The British-built Japanese battleships. But yes, if you're interested in World War II naval strategy, definitely check it out. Link will be in the description down below. And until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.